These days, I really do feel like Cinderella, uh, uh, the Little Mermaid, because the way in which I have realizations and like go through certain processes, but am not in the space to then express it, and like when I try to like verbalize it, force like it cannot come out only when I force it, but then when it's forced, it's not correct. Like I feel like there's a something stuck in my throat when I do that. But I have this desire for a sense of like completion, um like a sense of taking authority, taking control over my own destiny in a way. I feel like I just want to kind of get over what I'm trying to talk about, which is kind of the turbulence that comes with having 4037 defined. I really forgot. Like, I'm gonna just lock in as the 43 mind self without trying to make sense to like people who don't understand human design. I think it'll be best that way for now. But you know, my personality sun is gate 40, the gate of deliverance, the gate of aloneness. It's in the ego center slash the heart center, the will, known as the will center, where you have a sense of will. And most of the 3 out of 4 gates or channels that make the will center defined are tribal gates. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So this will maybe make sense as I explain things more, but also my specific placement 4037 channel, it's emotional, so that also plays into the experience. Yeah, as I said, I really forgot 4037 was emotional, because I really thought when I would come back here I would be okay, you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't feel like a sense of turbulence that I used to when it comes to like social dynamics, like my desires for things, like my wish to fulfill certain destinies with a community, with the correct community. Yeah, I thought I already processed all that in the 1.5+ years that I have spent in complete solitude digitally. Like sometimes I might have had phases where I did go on my private account, or like yes I did like upload on my YouTube, which was kind of like a safer space for me because YouTube doesn't focus on like mutual ships between people. It focuses on just you. So it felt also like kind of not less personal, but it felt like less vulnerable, you know, if you know what I mean. Because firstly, I think the reach of YouTube, the way it has been functioning, is very different to like Instagram. I feel like places like Instagram and Twitter, those are places where you find people a lot easier, and like things go a lot faster. Things are generally kind of more intimate in a way. YouTube feels still kind of like there's a distance between you to like the people who view your stuff, but that's like kind of not accurate either. 너의 세상 속 너의 세상 속에서 너의 세상 속에서 거기 살고 싶어. Okay, I'm in the middle of turbulence. I really want to be useful, and I know this like also sounds like something you shouldn't think. Like you would think that like the people who are like in the creative scene, they're just individuals. Like if you know about human design, there's like 3 to 4 different circuits types, and there's like the individual circuit. the tribal circuit, the collective circuit, and like the survival. It's not even called a circuit, right? It's like this. I don't know what it's called. I guess the survivalist. Let's just call it a circuit, even though I know it's not correct, like in official human design terminology. But basically, I have a mix of like tribal and individual circuitry. I don't remember which one I have more of. So 4037 is one of my tribal circuitry, tribal channels, along with 596. But 596 apparently isn't it everything? Oh, sorry. Oh, that's kanji too. I like that. Um, what else? Oh yeah, I have 1949. They're all connected to the solar plexus. I think those are the three. And then like I have another. Okay, let's not talk about the individual circuits. I think like a lot of times in the past I kind of try to operate on logic a little bit when I try to like bring in my dream reality, which is really strange, like because I thought, oh, no one would understand like what I want back in like 2020 to 2022. We could even say it from 2019, but I'll say from 2020. I think I really started like, I don't know, wanting to expand through my community since 2020. And like back then I really wanted that. You know, I was felt like I was in my own way working really hard for that, like through kind of experimenting with curating visions, curating mood boards, like curating the feelings that I had, like that feeling of hope and like my childhood, like the romanticizations of the that time, the nostalgia. Yeah. But like I think back then a lot of like people my age, they were still trying to kind of hold on to the old business structure. Like we were expected to like go to college and just do our own thing, like go back to the corporate world. But even back then I don't know, I felt like I was gonna live like already that kind of entrepreneur, freelancer, creative person type of way. um but you know, the problem with my way of handling it was that I felt like I couldn't do it without certain people. I was so fixated on like how people weren't in the right place back then. I was upset like with that. I felt like I just I was focusing more on other people than I was focusing on myself, and that was the problem. So I think like after I had like I made such a mess in like 2024, like it really forced me to take a step back from social media and really see like process things in solitude, like get step away from this social media place. And so that resulted in just me feeling kind of out of touch with the scene that I have valued so much for so many years. So I only recently came back. And so like I really see how a lot of things have changed. Like people are really living the way that I have dreamt of a few years ago, you know? Like that I saw that people would be living like that in my visions years ago. Like we would just like kind of gather together. Like I would just imagine in 2019 or 2020 I like kind of mood boarded or like wrote, like you remember those kind of TikToks about like manifesting and stuff. I was definitely there, and like all those spiritual psychosis type of spiritual videos. And yeah, I would like write that down and envision like a time where I would be with my friends, or like yeah, my friends, and at the same time my partners, like my business partners or whatever, my collaborators in a way. like creative col- col- cre- creative friends, you know? And we would come together, we would plan our next project, our next pop-up. I already imagined that back in 2020, and it's amazing that so many people managed to kind of bring that together in their own way. I think I was just like, the problem with me in the past was that I was so obsessed with like the fact that certain people were not on board, or people were not ready. They were so not in the right place, like they were not financially stable. That was the biggest thing. And here I was, like, I don't know, like people were not stable in many ways, financially, emotionally. And here I was like trying to push this like dream life. I don't know, I felt like it would save everyone, and so I was kind of upset that people didn't have the time for it, or to even like that I could even propose it, or that it didn't come through. And that's like no one's fault at all. And so like I think during the time I was away, I really have been like honing in on that sense of like not expecting anything from anyone, you know what I mean? But at the same time, as I've been coming back, I've been talking with a friend. I think maybe that could be a little extreme also. Like, actually yesterday I was just I thought to myself, God, I'm gonna be so alone. I remember this video watched of this like rich, I don't know, entrepreneur on YouTube, this woman who's like talking about how she has no friends because they're like no one's, people are just stabbing her in the back or whatever. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. No, but I didn't even imagine it like that. It's just like, I don't know why I just imagined myself like being alone. But it didn't seem nice either, in a way, you know what I mean? Like, I do love being alone, but how do I say it? I feel like my dream couldn't like kind of exist in as me being alone, because that's just like, I don't know why I imagine myself as like some like person who had Chanel, like Chanel seems to be trending again. Like, I don't know why Chanel, yeah, because it's trendy, like that kind of avant-garde-ish, like indie sleaze, but like high fashion version kind of person, but like alone. But that doesn't seem nice. And then so I remembered a friend or friends when they invite me to do things. Some like a friend invited me to do something, and I asked a friend to do something, and like a friend who's like, I value what they love, you know what I mean? Like, I value what they feel attracted to and like what they want to do. It's like, oh wait, this could actually be really nice, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not alone. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm literally not alone, but like the whole 2020, like a lot of especially the first half of 2025, I was just always thinking to myself, I'm so alone. Like, I literally didn't talk to anyone until like mid 2025. I think I started talking with one friend who I'm very, very thankful for and love so much. If you see this, you know who you are. Yeah, but like, I don't know what's with my obsession. I think it's like me telling myself like in a mantra style that I will be alone is kind of like me trying to seek control over my circumstances, because like something about like reconnecting through Instagram with like old friends sometimes like kind of, it got me turbulent as well. Like, it made me feel emotionally turbulent in a way that I haven't felt in a long time. And so I think I'm like scared that I will make the same mistakes as before. I'm scared that I will lose my friends. I'm scared that I will lose myself. I'm scared of all those things. I'm scared that by doing the wrong thing, I will then like not have the opportunity, or not even have the chance or whatever to even live the life I want to, which is kind of, does that even make sense, right? Like, but strangely, as I said, yeah, I feel like I'm not the type of person that just can like kind of be a genius solo. Maybe it's something to do with like my split, like my 2343 in the throat ajna center, like which makes me like the genius, like this genius freak archetype, like the person with innovative creative ideas and like that ability to eventually like formulate them at the right time. That's like split up from the rest of my chart. And so like I think I really feel like that, like I'm Ariel, you know, or the Little Mermaid sometimes, like that, without like the right people to be around, I feel like that will just not come out of me. And I really was aware of this when I used to be on, like before my um hibernation, my digital hibernation phase. I was very aware of this sense, like I really felt like certain friends brought out certain visions, or like certain, like like I felt like my feelings of hope and like of creativity and like confidence could stay alive because those people were my friends, or because I could have them around. And so I felt like extremely codependent. I didn't want them to leave. I wanted them to come closer. I wanted to get to know them better. Like I wanted to really force that, you know what I mean? And that's like not good. Like, and so now I'm trying to approach things really differently, kind of like letting things flow as they are more, like seeing, like just seeing what things are as they are. I don't have that same feeling of force, but at the same time, it's like maybe even it's what swing to the opposite direction. Like I find myself like thinking, am I not working hard enough anymore like how I used to? Like I mean, I think back then I didn't really work very productively. I did not wait for emotional clarity like I do now. So that was like why I used to start things at my high, like a feeling of high, and then I couldn't sustain anything. But then like when I kind of sat with things like and like felt like yes, yes, yes a few times, I felt more calm, and I felt like I've gone over how I'm gonna approach things more, so then I could do things better. Um yeah, I'm just wondering though, like to what extent I need to work harder to like also like show love to my friends, like especially if I want friends with like who love certain lifestyles, who want a certain kind of, who are hardworking. Like how hard do I need to work to like make sure that I'm on their level? I don't even mean it like that, just you know what I mean. Like I feel, I think that's something I used to be very aware of in the past that I kind of lost touch of because I thought, oh, I'm gonna be alone now. But it's not true that I'm alone now. Um, honestly, this is such a 40-30 something, but I really do feel like a, a sense of need and resolve to like be better for my friends. And honestly, I think if I were truly alone in the sense of like I would have, like due to drama that I've created, like had to cut ties with like everyone. I don't know if I would have that same amount of resolve, but there's a reason why it like I still have some friends that who are kind of on similar paths as me. I have this resolve to like the fact that I'm really thankful that I can be invited into their space, and I really want to work hard to be the best version of myself. It's like I knew this, as I said before my hibernation. I really knew that I got a lot of strength from wanting to not disappoint my friends or like be on their level. I think kind of in a way, I think my downfall in the past was definitely kind of like kind of thinking that that was wrong, that thinking like, oh, I should also be loved for who I am, you know what I mean? Like which is, of course, your friends need to love you for who you are, but let's define that just in the sense of like, oh, sometimes if I'm, how do I say it, if I'm want more time, if I'm a little needy, that's okay. But I got very indulgent on my private accounts. Like, I felt like I wanted to be validated by my friends over certain feelings, and like but I did also have friends who were like me in that sense. Just I think a lot of us realized that that's not helpful, you know. I don't I don't think that's helpful, because it's a sense of like not even res- I don't want to say respecting yourself. It's like you don't feel into yourself. You don't like talk with yourself about that. You know, why are you like, that's like the thing. That's emotional regulation. I think that's that neediness is something you need to regulate. That's like what I think. And I think that's kind of something that came up again, like remembering that old me, but I couldn't quite put my, like, I didn't have the words for it, but I guess I think I might have the words for it now. I'm like, I mean, I think I realized for me personally, it's a good thing that I feel this sense of wanting to improve myself because of my friends. I thought, oh, I don't know. I don't want to even think about what I thought about. I think it's good now that I it's so amazing to feel the strength of wanting to improve myself because of my friendships, because of the people I admire who at least used to be closer in my space, you know, like there's still people I want to make proud. There's people, I guess, yeah, it's really with it when it comes to like tribal energy, it's really like those people that you have had contact with who have seen you in the past. Those people, I think those are the people I think about. I want to make them proud, you know. I want them to like, I don't want to say love me for my accomplishments, but I want them to feel, I don't know, I feel like if you have a sort of self-discipline, it really depends. I think especially if you have the 40-37 defined, if you have that self-discipline, I think people will feel very empowered by you. They will respect you. It's not even like in a power dominating sense, just respect in a way of like, it's like an air of we can overcome things, we can accomplish things, we can see better worlds, you know. We can, like, there's hope, like we're not just staying weak. And everyone's different. I think not everyone's supposed to have this, not everyone has this is my will, you know what I mean. This is me having an ego definition, which is only 30% of the population that has that. So most of the population will not have this apparently, like, but this is very relevant for me because my son is gate 40. So if you know, like, my sun sign is Virgo, but specifically my gate is gate 40, which is connected to the 40-37 channel. And 40 gate 40 is in the ego center, slash will slash heart center. And like the 37 is defined by my personality earth, which is a very like human design concept, which is like exactly opposite of my personality sun. So that's what makes my 40-37. So it's very relevant in my life, because if you know human design, it's said that like your personality sun makes up like 70% of your like relevant energy or whatever. And like I can definitely say that like 40, the gate 40/37 channel is very relevant in my life. It's like very overarching. And so since we have that 40-37 nodal transit, though, right now we have the nodal north node in 37 and the south node in 40. Yeah, that's the kind of things that have been coming up. And sometimes like, you know, if you know an emotional wave in human design, there's like not just gonna be ups, there's also gonna be downs. And so I've had doubts, like, which is part of the process. It's healthy to see everything, like be able to accept all perspectives, not just the good things but also the bad things. So I have been thinking, yeah, what if, you know, I don't know what I was gonna say anymore, tbh. Oh, my face is back, oh, bro. I put the screen up. I've been thinking about how I can work harder, you know, like how to work harder in the correct way. Like, I really don't want to make the same mistakes as in the past. I don't want to force. I think, okay, so I need to treat this balance. I can never force another person. I cannot control another person. I didn't think that in the past, but I guess subconsciously there was a sense of manipulation, or like this wish for people to cooperate. That is kind of controlling. And like, yes, I'm admitting that it's embarrassing to admit, but yeah, I'm not like that anymore. But at the same time, I'm trying to see what that balance is between like self autonomy but also like admitting that I really desire that kind of collaboration, and like that really empowers me to be a better person, to like be the best person I can be. You know, like if you think about it, fashion initially was kind of like there to like speak to other people, like about your standing or your understanding of the world. It's a form of communication. Sorry for my hair, oh my god. So like, for example, I really don't feel so motivated like to just do makeup just for myself in my room, because I don't have a mirror here, that like a proper mirror where I can like stare at my face. But like as soon as I know I'm gonna like meet, or for sometimes even when I go to work, but especially when I'm meeting like a friend who has the same values as me, who's also into fashion, like this, I feel like it's a need. I know it's like, okay, it's like signaling that you know the same stuff, but it's also like I feel like something about meeting friends, or like kind of showing up the correct way towards friends, is it like it makes me feel so much more beautiful than if I were just alone, like doing things in isolation. Something about being seen, the or being seen, being seen, putting in effort, being seen fashionably, being seen having like niche thoughts, like being able to articulate yourself in specific ways, being able to be seen by certain people who also do the same thing. Something about that is like the most beautiful thing in this world, I think. Like, it feels incredibly empowering. And I know that's like, we are often like, there's a lot of like people who think probably like, yeah, do it all just for yourself. And this is also something I do for myself. This is just how I tick, and like that's my that's my thing. Is there anything else I want to say? I do wish, like, now that I'm visible, like through the light, that my hair would look better. But I have my hood, so it's kind of cute. I think this looks cute right now. Like something about this corner is like very interesting. Like on camera. Like, when was the last time you saw someone leaning on a corner on the video, and then also like just the light going off, you know? That's like so intimate. I remember I used to watch this guy, this like spiritual astrology guy. He would like make these videos in the bathtub talking about this like esoteric spirituality, like this spiritual warfare, dimensional like ships, like mental ship, what stuff. like in the bathtub in the dark, that like you could see like the way that when my light was out, that's how the lighting of it, it was such a vibe. Yeah, it's like this is the vibe. I don't It's so annoying when it's like too sunny outside. Like I felt so blind doing my makeup today because the sun was so bright, but this the most beautiful lighting is like the dark. Is so beautiful. Yeah. I think like something about like connecting with people, like being beautiful with others or insight of others or like vice versa. It's like such a blessing, you know? I guess like I'm definitely one of those people who's not like who is definitely supposed to kind of be intermingled with the right people, you know? There's some people they really thrive just like online but like alone, if that makes sense. Like they're very two line in human design. Just like that sense of like they think they're alone, they're just doing their own stuff, they have their hobbies, but like they think they're just like kind of alone, but then like people just find them, people perceive them. That's like the line two. I have no line. I don't do I have I think I have two planets with line two, if I'm not mistaken. It's not much. Like if you think, I don't know how many, let's say there's 24 planets, like including design and personality, but my most prominent like placements are 5 and 6. So 6 on the body side, like half of, I think most, like I think half of my energy, 6 of my placements have line 6 on the design side, so that's a lot. And the 5 is like kind of in my incarnation cross and all that. I think maybe why I feel burdened by my old stuff is because I feel like I've compromised a lot of things for like what I thought logically made sense. Like I kind of had that kind of productivity bro, YouTube bro mentality a little bit mixed in with my stuff. Like, oh, quantity is still better, you know. I'm experimenting, so it's okay, but there's a lot of like nuance in myself that I didn't know how to put into words. Like, look, I had astrology, which helped me, but I feel like human design in its own way gives a lot more nuance to how I operate, that astrology alone wouldn't suffice in. Though I have been finding myself finding truth again in astrology after like at least a year of being super like just only human design. So will I end this here?